friends, welcome back. It's Mr. Reality coming at you with psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, how are you today?
Hmm. Trying to get over this time change.
Oh my God, it's terrible. I call it the sleep deprivation time that we're on now. Here in America, we decided to steal an hour of sleep. I don't know what they do with those 330 million hours of sleep that they get, but I'm moving to Arizona where I don't have to put up with this crap every year.
No, it's amazing how 1 hour moving forward throws you out of psychic alignment. Does
You
it?
know, I teach a course, temporal awareness perception. You'd think I'd be able to adjust with 1 hour, but because you know where you are in time, it always messes me up. Takes me like a month to get over the time zone change and reacclimate to the new time zone, the fake time that's out there right now.
Crazy.
One of your listeners that listens to us asked you to do a probe of Hollywood, and I wondered if who would you bring in to answer some questions about Tinseltown.
Ooh, so many people. Who could we bring in? I'm gonna bring in the entity of Hollywood itself.
Okay, how is the entity of Hollywood feeling today after
Sad.
the Academy Awards or something happened? I don't know. Something I don't pay attention to happened on TV.
Oh, I watched it, the Oscars, and you know what? The Brits scooped out so many awards. It
Ah,
it was amazing. I do like the Oscars. Yeah, that was on Sunday. So I've grabbed the entity of Hollywood as a whole, and even though we had the Oscars on Sunday, it still feels very sad and depressed. It's not happening.
how can it have an entity and how can it feel depressed? Was that energy an amalgam of everyone that's there, or is it the energy of the land that's there?
Ooh, good question. Is it the energy of the land? No, it's more the atmosphere, the feeling. Hollywood is a place of a lot of money. I feel like the industry is dying, or it's definitely changing.
Well, some of the questions that your listener asked about was the Screen Actors Guild. It includes both principal actors and background actors. Is
Mhm.
it recovered from the strike that they had and the settlement that they got or the agreement that they got?
No, this is going to take years to recover.
That's unfortunate.
It is because what's coming in is the industry, a lot of the corporations realize that they don't actually need these people anyway. Or look, I'm not saying that these people are not needed, right? But corporations are corporate, right? They do what they do to make money. And this was an opportunity for them to see, well, actually, we were doing just fine without them. And so a lot of them are not going back to work. I'm getting that very strongly. So they're trying to make maximum profit with minimal expenditure.
Can we identify where the main purse strings are? And I know it's a lot of different angles, but is there like a supreme energy or monetary energy that's feeding into Hollywood and the Screen Actors Guild and all of these other splinter agencies now? Where's that coming from?
So it feels like the main, purse strings are with the corporations.
Can we tell the geography of those corporations? Are they American based, foreign based?
Oh, I don't feel they're foreign based. They're American based.
Okay. Another question was the lack of work in Hollywood has affected the businesses in the city, including suppliers, food, gas, electricity, and rental. What's going to happen to those other tangent?
So it's affecting, yeah, because I should imagine, if people are out of work, they're not spending money. I'm getting that very strongly. You're going to start seeing businesses close down. Will this ever go back to the way it was? It's going to take about 10 years to recover. And even in 10 years' time, the industry is going to be totally different from what it is now. It's going to be almost unrecognizable.
So we've seen a shift towards streaming companies, and it says streaming companies and studios are condensing their ownership. Are there five main owners now?
Well, there's a bit more than five, is what I'm getting. But a lot of the mom and pop or the small, businesses, which is a shame because they will cater to your needs. You're more valued, it feels, when you go to these smaller businesses. They may not have all the money and the backing, but they certainly honor creativity. Whereas I'm looking at these corporations and it's about what sells, what's going to make the most money. It doesn't even have to be talent, it can be mediocre as long as it's sort of a trend that people will go and buy, spend money on. That's all that matters. So it's not about the content, it's not about the story anymore. It's about what sells.
And when we hear that they're not making any profit or money, is that true? Or has that profit just been condensed into those main companies and studios?
Mostly, mostly the profit is being held at the top.
And what's driving this sort of movement to consolidate and make everything, I call it the homogeneity of product and life. When you get fewer and fewer choices, you're happy with the choices that you have. So what's driving that sort of homogeneity?
It's again, it's the corporations, the profit, trying to spend as little as possible, making maximum. I do feel that they were in some sort of deficit for a while.
When someone talks about artificial intelligence, we see a lot of that in sort of every waking strata of our life. If AI takes over, will it still be profitable for the corporations, or will they leverage that AI and use that and get rid of the actors?
Uh, let's ask the corporation. So I'm going to grab the big corporations into an entity. What do you think about the use of AI? Oh, they love it. So when I talk about the big five, I'm talking about Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, Sony. Okay. They love AI. It's easy to produce, it's easy to market, it's likable. They can do a lot of things with it. Now, what it said to me was, and we don't have to deal with the difficult personalities of the A-list actors, right? So they don't like having to cater to these actors, these high maintenance people, as they put it in the corporate world, right? Catering to their every whim and every need and every complaint, making sure that they're happy and they want to do the movie. So it feels like the actors have the upper hand or did have the upper hand prior to all of this upheaval. But now, no, these corporations are going to run with AI, which, as we know in a lot of the probes that we have done, you and I together, it removes a lot of emotion.
It does remove a lot of emotions, but I thought that one of the leverage points was that they would not use AI moving forward. So they're just going to abandon that sort of principle that they set forth in both strikes
Let's ask. That's a good question.
in the Writers Guild of America and Screen Actors Guild.
Are you planning to abandon the use of these Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild? If they can, they will, right? They're bound by these contracts right now. But as far as like AI is concerned, how they feel about it, they love it. It cuts out a lot of the middleman, a lot of the people that they have to pay, and also the laws that they have to abide by, the fairness that they have to abide by. The employment laws are quite strict out there when it comes to Hollywood, and they've had to be because they treated the employees so badly over the years. And it feels as if, if they can cut all that out, they will too. They are all about the profit. Profit, profit, profit.
When should we expect to see how many years out, fully dispensed AI movies?
2035.
How will the public react to that?
I feel the public will be indifferent. You know, they're always going to be a consumption class of people, and they will just consume information. They don't really use discernment when absorbing that information, mainly for the younger crowd. Sorry, younger people. I hate to say it, but this is what I'm getting. And they will still be mass consumers. The corporations know that. They know that. They're counting on this young, trendy crowd to spend the money, not the older people. The older people are more choosy, they're picky, they know what they like, they know what they want, they like good quality programming, they like good quality emotions and actors and things like that. But now when you're dealing with the younger generations coming up that have always been behind a screen, they're sort of devoid of emotion anyway. So therefore it will resonate with them.
We've seen an exodus of places like Hollywood and where they're filming sitcoms and shows and movies. Is there going to be a continual exodus out of the United States into other countries, or is it still going to be centralized in different areas of the US?
Is there still going to be a Hollywood? There will always be a Hollywood, but it will be very different. It's going to be more techy. It's going to be more on the production, sound, visual than anything. What about costumes? Making costumes? No, if they can cut the costume design as well, they will, right? They're saying all of this can be computer generated.
Yeah, you don't need to hold. You just
You
need to
know,
get
that's what
under at
they're
that
wanting
point.
to do. But
They can
yeah,
do it
but
a lot faster.
that's going to remove so much emotion, human connection to these characters that we love, right? It's going to just remove that. It's a shame
Why is production in Hollywood not resumed as of today?
because they're stalling. They want to, again, it's all about profit. They're maximizing the profit. They're going to try and get rid of as many people as they possibly can.
They're going to be successful at that, or they're not going to be successful at that?
Successful. Overall, looking out, projecting out 10, 15 years, they will be successful.
Television has everything to do with advertising. And so, is there going to be a, when I watch television, which is infrequent, I see a lot of drug commercials. Are drugs still going to be funding primarily underhandedly and sort of in different ways the production? And are those drug companies able to push their agendas? Because they owe a lot of money still.
Are drug companies going to be able to push their agendas on television? Not so much. I feel like there's going to be laws coming in way down the line that's going to limit that. Now, of course, let's just be logical. The reason the drug companies are pushing on the television, well, who's at home watching TV? It's the old folks, right? The young people are not so much tuning into mainstream TV, the regular channels, regular programming. They're more on TikTok, YouTube, they're on streaming services. But it's still the older population, the boomer population that are watching these commercials and watching these shows. And of course, that is catering to what they're going through. Not everybody, obviously, but as you age, you start to get ailments and illnesses and things like that. So it's catering to that crowd. It's actually very profitable as I'm pulling this information in for the pharma to advertise. But I do feel somewhere along the line that's going to be cut back.
The corporations involved have a plan or a long range goal of breaking up all of the unions that exist in Hollywood.
They hate the unions and they would love to do that.
Will they be successful at that?
No, not completely. No, but it will change.
It seems like we're seeing a lot more agenda-based production where it's not about entertainment, but it's about pushing an ideology or a concept, and many actors are speaking out against corporations. Who's driving that sort of agenda-based entertainment?
So, asking the corporations again, are you driving an agenda based entertainment? Absolutely. That's what sells, it's the trend.
I guess that's why it's not a trend to me. uh,
Well, when was the last time you went to the movies?
I think I saw Jumanji. It was pretty good. That was the
Oh,
last
really?
time, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah. We don't go anymore. We don't. Um, there, I can't remember the last time we went to the movies.
Is the
And
ongoing? Oh, go ahead.
no, well, this is really gross, but one of the reasons we don't go is because movie theaters are infested with bed bugs, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, they
Oh
are.
yeah,
It's
they
a
get a lot
known
more.
thing.
It's like way too. I don't know. I'm content just watching it on my giant TV at home. The
Without the
ongoing
bed
fight for
bugs.
wages in the entertainment industry reflective of a larger issue affecting all U.S. businesses.
Will be. I'm sorry, repeat that question.
The ongoing fight for wages in the entertainment industry, is that reflective of a larger issue affecting all U.S. businesses? As things get more expensive, people have less funds to buy them.
Yes, you know what? It is. Now, this is something that I came up with the other day when I was explaining inflation. Actually, Spirit gave it to me. We're going to see more and more inflation like we have just seen, and we're still seeing, we're still going through it. Although we're coming to the tail end of this bout of inflation, it will never go back to the way it was. This is the new way. Every single time we go through these inflationary periods, it's like the bowling ball and the pins at the end of the bowling lane, right? So the ball is coming down, heading towards the pins, and it's economically, excuse me, economically knocking people out. So, meaning that they'll never be able to afford to buy a home. They're always going to be renters. They're not able to save money. And, how many pins are left standing? Now, as we're going forward, we're going to see another bout of inflation. Ding, ding, ding. I'm warning you all. Okay. I told you about this last one a couple of years ago, 2, 3 years ago. And I'm telling you about the next one, which will happen in about 2033 ish, right? Around that time, it's not going to be 40% like it is now. Don't ever believe the government numbers. That's all BS. But, it is going to be significant 25 to 35% inflation. And here comes the bowling ball again, knocking people out, right? So, what inflation actually does, it creates a bigger division of rich versus poor every single time. And so, it is reflective of a greater problem in the US. Now, as we all know, California is very expensive. So, for those of you listening, living out in California, I feel your pain. I'm so sorry, but it just seems like it's going to make that gap even wider for you guys out there. So you may have to decide whether you want to stay there.
It's going to be hard to get the basics. That's true.
Oh, the question that you asked about, whether Hollywood or we're going to expand, I feel like they're cheaper places and more workable areas. So you're not going to be so bound, or the corporations will not be so bound by these stringent, as they put it, not me, employment laws. So they're going to go where there's more of a freedom to employ, right? So they're not going to be bound by unions. They're not going to be bound by strict laws. They can have immediate termination. They can work you like a dog. Yes, I know. I know it's not nice, right? And where is that going to be relocated out towards? And I feel like it's going to be relocated out towards places like Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, those types of places. And you're going to see a lot more productions and filming taking place in those areas because their laws are different. Let me ask the corporations this, even though they're moving the production or the filming out of California, will they still be bound by California law? Somewhat, but over time, the corporations are saying we hope to make this a regular thing where we are now bound to the laws of that particular state.
Well, Liz Cross, thank you very much. And thank you for
Yeah.
your probe of the Hollywood. We wish all you out there good luck. And
Yeah.
we'll see
It's
you
a
next time.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Just a quick note. I mean, a couple of things. First of all, I do have Hollywood A-listers that come through for the CTT. I do ask them to share it. They're so competitive. They say, "Oh, no way are we sharing that with our friends, Liz, or telling anybody out here," because it gives us this real competitive edge. So by nature, Hollywood is extremely competitive, right? And I know that from doing all the CTTs for these people. And then the second thing is just, I feel your pain. I'm so sorry that this is happening. Um, I feel that the corporations are just going to get their way. And it's terrible because there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of great ideas out there. And where do these creative people go? Where are they going to end up? How are they going to export their talent to the big world if they're not allowed to? We'll have to see.
We'll check in with them again. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.